A good member from the 25th District, Representative Jacobsen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Permission to read the title of the bill.
Please proceed.
Thank you. An act relating to increasing funding to the Education Legacy Trust account for public education, childcare, early learning, and higher education by creating a more progressive rate structure for the capital gains and estate tax. The interesting thing about this title, Mr. Speaker, is this all goes to the general fund, this revenue. And so we've got this premise that we're going to have to cut all these programs if we don't raise taxes. And that's kind of the overarching theme of what we've been doing here in these last few days of session, at least in Finance Committee. We've been doing a lot of that. And so we're passing along a lot of tax increases. And so we've got this tax increase in front of us. And the premise is that we cannot fund our government without these tax increases. And I would submit to you, Mr. Speaker, that we have had a budget proposed, the Save Washington plan, that would, without raising taxes, fund our priorities, fund our K-12, and fund our other priorities. So I would hope that we could look at that. But here we are getting towards the end of the session, and this particular bill is raising the estate tax and the capital gains tax. And I would say that our estate tax is already pretty high compared to the federal tax. We were only, before this bill, we were only going to exclude 2.19 million, and now we're going to exclude 3 million. And the federal exclusion is 13.9 million. So we really start charging estate tax already at a pretty comparatively low valued estates. And so if you look at somebody who's going to be at the top of the new tiers for this estate tax, they're going to have a $9 million estate and they're going to pay 35%. And if you look at our capital gains, I think it's, we're increasing the rate on capital gains over, I think it's $1 million. So Mr. Speaker, we're increasing these rates pretty high on people who can leave the state, Mr. Speaker. They could leave and go to retire somewhere else with their estate tax planning. They could leave if they are planning on selling a lot of instruments or securities like Jeff Bezos did. So they can leave the state. And so I think it's a very poor idea to put so much of our budget hopes on this particular type of tax. And I'm reminded again of the Beatles, the Taxman song. And they wrote that when they were leaving the UK because of the tax rates. They did, and the Rolling Stones did, and they left. They have plenty of dough, they just left and didn't pay the taxes. And I think that's what's going to happen here with this particular tax proposal that's in front of us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.